Alright, so I'm convinced that the lovely people at AQA that designed this question, their main objective was how can we demoralize these poor chemistry students even more than they already are on a daily basis, and this was their result, okay? So their mission was successful, guys. Only 16% of students were actually able to fully answer this question and gain all of the 7 juicy marks that we have here available. Alright, so before we jump into this, I would actually advise a little tip here, guys. If you this was the last question in the paper, all right? So it's a 2-hour chem exam. You're right at the end. Your brain's absolutely fried. I actually would advise pretty much all of my students to do this question right near the start. Maybe not the very first question, do some easy ones. Get those out of the way, get the juices flowing. However, really, you don't want to leave this to the end because you're going to be exhausted, okay? Chemistry is very intensive on your brain, all these calculations, everything you have to remember. So yeah, I would advise just doing this near the beginning of the paper, getting it out of the way, okay? Alright, so with that out of the way, let's jump into this question then. So I'm just going to read through the question. If you want to pause the video, attempt it yourself. Do your best, okay? It's a really tricky question, but hopefully you can get there. So I'm going to read through this. A student added 627 milligrams of hydrated sodium carbonate, this guy right here, to 200 centimeters cubed of 0.25 mole per decimeter cubed hydrochloric acid in a beaker, and they stirred the mixture. After the reaction was complete, the resulting solution was transferred to a volumetric flask made up to 250 centimeters cubed with deionized water and mixed thoroughly. Alright, several of these 25 centimeter cube portions of the resulting solution were then titrated with 0.15 mole per decimeter cubed aqueous sodium hydroxide. The mean titer was 26.6 centimeters cubed. And then they're asking us here to calculate the value of X in this sodium carbonate, okay, this hydrated crystal. Show our working, really important here, okay? If they don't ask you to show your working, you can just chuck the answer on the page and still get all the marks available. However, if they specify here, you must show your working, that's exactly what they want you to do, okay? So even if you get the right answer right at the end of the page, you won't be able to gain all the marks because they've specifically asked that. Hopefully that's blatant, but maybe not. And we have to give our answer to an integer, okay? This is always the case with the .xh2o. This cheeky x right here is going to be a whole number. Okay, so let all these values sink in, and while you do that, I'm just going to do a few diagrams here and lay out exactly what's happening in this experiment, and we can sort of trace things backwards, so hopefully it makes it a bit clearer for you guys. Okay guys, so my GCSE art skills have allowed me to construct this beautiful diagram that we have right here, just to sort of explain what's going on, okay? So, what we have up here, okay, is just our beaker of hydrochloric acid, so 200 centimeters cubed, 0.25, all that good stuff, all right? All our variables added here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add in some of this sodium carbonate .xh2o, this amount right here, into this. Then what's going to happen is transfer it to this volumetric flask, make it up to the mark with deionized water, so 250 centimeters cubed, and then we split that up into 10 portions of 25 centimeters cubed solution, added that to our conical flask, which we're going to titrate with our sodium hydroxide right here, which is in our burette. Okay, so hopefully laying that out helped your brain a little bit visualize what's going on here. Obviously, in the exam, you don't have all the time to do all this, which is why this question is quite difficult. You sort of have to trace your steps backwards and work out what's going on here. So, hopefully you guys are going to get the first couple marks here, okay, where we have to just work out the amount of things reacting. In all of these titration, amount of substance questions, start with the moles, okay? When in doubt, start with the moles. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Using our classic N equals CV equation, okay? This one straight out of the bag, onto the page. Right, here we go. So initial moles of HCl is what we're going to look for first, because we want to see, okay, what amount of HCl did we have in the initial beaker, okay? Now, let's do that right here. So moles HCl initial equals going to be our conc, which is 0.25, multiplied by our volume. as you should know, guys, hopefully 200 centimeters cubed needs to be converted, okay? So we're just going to times that by 10 to the minus 3, which is exactly the same as dividing by 1000, okay? So I'm going to get that on the page. I'll do my calculation in a second. Next thing we can work out is the amount of the sodium hydroxide, okay? And that's going to be our values right here. So 0.15 moles per decimeter cubed multiplied by our 26.6 mean theta, okay, and that's going to be again divided by 1000 because we need to convert it, times 10 to the minus 3, okay. Now if you chuck that into your calculator, you're going to get 0.05 and 3.99 times 10 to the minus 3, okay, and both of these are obviously moles, okay. That's the amount that we're dealing with here. Typical neutralization reaction occurring here. Okay, so how do I know that it's a 1-to-1? And it's just simply due to the equation, okay? So what I can do here is I can just say HCl plus our sodium hydroxide gives us sodium chloride plus H2O. Easy as that, okay? And as we can see here, we have a 1-to-1 mole ratio, so clearly they react in a 1-to-1 ratio. So what we actually have to do here is we have to trace our steps backwards, okay? In this 25 centimeter cube portion, this amount of sodium hydroxide is going to react and neutralize 25 centimeters cubed of this solution. Okay, but we don't want to do that. We want to trace back to our steps of the initial concentration, okay? And the reason for that is because we don't really care about the hydrochloric acid or the sodium hydroxide. The guy that we care about is this sodium carbonate, okay? And that's the reason we have to do that here, is because we have to think to ourselves, the hydrochloric acid and the sodium carbonate are also going to react, okay? And in that case, we have to work out what are the moles remaining initially that we reacted with this, and that will allow us to work out the next molar ratio. If you're lost, hopefully just keep watching the video and it will make sense to you. Okay then, because they react in a 1-to-1 ratio, like I said, this tells us, so if I put that on the page, 1-to-1 mole ratio, therefore moles of HCl in 25 centimeters cubed equals, it's going to be our 3.99 times 10 to the minus 3. Okay, they're exactly the same here. Okay, and that's because they react in a 1-to-1 ratio, okay? Therefore, in this 250 centimeters cubed portion right here, it's just going to be this value times 10 because it's 10 times bigger. 250, 25, easy maths, all right? So, therefore, moles of HCl in 250 centimeters cubed, this volumetric flask, equals 3.99 times 10 to the minus 2 mole. Okay, so this is really useful for us here for our next part of the calculation. If this is our moles in this right here, the 250 centimeters cubed, what we can do is minus that from the initial moles, okay, and then what we can do is we can take that and look at the molar ratio and work out the moles of the sodium carbonate, and that will allow us to complete the question. Okay, so I'm going to switch my color up here to blue because I'm feeling like it. Excess, moles HCl excess in 250 centimeters cubed after reacting with the sodium carbonate. Okay, all this way through here, it's the sodium carbonate dot XH2O, but I'm just leaving it as the sodium carbonate, okay? And this is going to be our initial moles, our 0.05 minus the moles in the 250 centimeters cubed, 3.99 times 10 to the minus 2. Okay, and this will give us an answer of 0.0101 mole. Okay, so this allows us to work out the moles of the acid that ultimately reacted with the sodium carbonate. So what I'm going to do next is I'll write out our equation here between the hydrochloric acid and the sodium carbonate just to see what the molar ratio is, okay? So if we have HCl, I'll put it up here, HCl plus sodium carbonate. I'm going to leave off the dot XH2O, okay, because it's not important here. It's going to be on both sides of the equation anyway, so the waters will cancel, okay? So this is going to give us NaCl plus CO2, okay? It's a carbonate reaction with an acid, therefore carbon dioxide is effervesced, plus H2O, okay? Now we just have to balance things up here. There's 2 sodium, so I'm going to chuck a 2 in front of the sodium chloride, and then it ultimately leads to 2 chlorides here, so I'm going to chuck a 2 in front of here as well. And then from there, I think everything's balanced. Okay, good to go. So as we can see here, plain as day, we have a 2-to-1 mole ratio, okay? Now, what this allows us to do is we can divide this value here, our moles of hydrochloric acid that reacted in this 250 centimeters cubed, by 2, okay? And that will tell us the moles of the sodium carbonate. Exactly what I'm going to do here, okay? So therefore, actually, let me write this out just for you guys that are taking notes here. Obviously, you don't have to do all of this during your exam because it's quite intense. It's only 7 marks. This is going to take up too much time, but I'm just writing everything out for you guys, plain as day, so you can take some notes if you need to. So 2-to-1 mole ratio. Therefore, moles of sodium carbonate dot, I'll add the .xH2O in here, but you really don't need to, is going to be this value, 0.0101 divided by 2. Plug that into your calculator and you're going to get 5.05 times 10 to the minus 3 moles, okay? Or you can just do it in your head, okay? Either way, all good to go. Next up then, we have to use our other mole equation. Hopefully you guys know where I'm going with this. N equals M over MR, okay? Because now we've worked out the moles of both of the things, okay? We've worked out the moles of the hydrochloric acid in the 250. We don't care about that ultimately. What we care about is the sodium carbonate. So we've worked out the amount of that, okay? Now that we have the moles of that, what we can do is we can manipulate this equation in order to work out the MR, okay? So let's do that right here then. So I'm going to rearrange this equation right here to make MR the subject. And that's simply going to be our mass over moles, okay? Hopefully you're all good with rearranging. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing here. So it's going to be our mass. Now, I made a note with the mass up here, 627 milligrams. We don't want that, guys. Not the standard unit of mass in chemistry. It's going to have to be converted to grams, okay? So all I'm going to do here, very similar to volume, I'm just going to divide it by 1,000, exactly the same as times 10 to the minus 3. So I'm going to do 627 times 10 to the minus 3 grams, and we're going to divide that by our moles that we just calculated, 5.05 times 10 to the minus 3. And this gives us a value of 124.1584 ... grams per mole. Okay, that's our unit there. So what do we do next then? How does this allow us to find out the integer of x? All we're going to do is work out what the MR of just our sodium carbonate is going to be, minus that from this guy right here, and that will allow us to work out what the MR of this is collectively. And if it's anything close to H2O, you're going to get that answer as 1. If it's, for example, this MR right here is 18, okay? So for example, if it's 36, or around that value, the integer is going to be 2, so on and so forth, okay? So let's do that right here. So I'm going to say our MR of our sodium carbonate. Just add this up on your periodic table or in your head, all good to go, 106 grams per mole. Okay, now what we can do here is we can say the MR of our total, so 124.1584, minus the MR of just our sodium carbonate, 106, equals this value right here, 18.1548, okay? And since the MR, so I'm going to just say since MR H2O equals 18 grams per mole, our X value has to be 1, okay? X equals 1. There we are, 7 juicy marks, all right, guys? Really tricky question, but hopefully you followed me all the way through. Hopefully it made sense. I hope so anyway. But let's just quickly look through the examiner's report and the mark scheme, okay? So you can pause the video. I'm not going to spend much time on the mark scheme here. You can pause the video, check it out yourself, see where you went wrong. Hopefully I didn't mess up anywhere, but this should have been all the marks available, okay? So examiner's report, not going to spend much time on this either, but just rounds off the video really. This challenging question discriminated very well, with 16.6% of students scoring all of the marks and 20% scoring 0 marks, okay? Not surprising really when you think about it. Look, 20% scored 0, so they attempted it, and then 5.7% did not attempt this question. So a quarter of students couldn't even get any marks or even attempt it at all, okay? So many students calculated the amount in moles of HCl added and the amount of sodium hydroxide used in this titration. Okay, so easy first couple marks right here, or maybe it's just 1 mark. Yeah, 1 mark right there, but every mark counts. Many did not then multiply the amount of sodium hydroxide by 10 to calculate the total amount in moles of HCl remaining, and fewer students still were able to calculate the original amount of sodium carbonate. Many students could convert milligrams to grams. Wait, there we are. Perfect, okay? Only the best students could continue to the end and calculate that x equals 1. So that's not surprising, guys. Very tricky question, all right? You don't often see a 7-marker calculation question, but in this case we did. Hopefully something doesn't come up like this year. But you never know, okay? So prepare for something like this. Again, you don't want to be wasting your time working out diagrams. You don't want to be writing every little detail out. Whatever you can write out to show you're working concisely and for it to make sense to you when you're checking it over at the end of the question is all you need to do, okay? So that's the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you found it helpful. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you guys out there that attempted the question yourself got some good marks, okay? Now, if you did learn something, be sure to like the video. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe for future maths and science content. Best of luck in your exams. Peace.